Hello, welcome to English Instructor. Just another beautiful day in paradise. This isn't the biggest town, or the most famous town, or the most popular town. It's not the hottest town or the coldest town, but it's definitely one of the most comfortable.
Today's lesson is about superlatives. Superlatives are very common in English, so it's important to understand some basic grammatical rules. Let's look at how superlatives relate to comparatives and adjectives. Their relationship is important. Let's look at an irregular example. The soup is good. This soup is better. That soup is the best. Notice the adjective good, the comparative better, and of course the superlative the best. Let's look at another common irregular example. The government is bad. This government is worse. That government is the worst. Notice the adjective bad, the comparative worse, and the superlative the worst. The next example follows a very common superlative grammatical rule. Mighty Mouse is strong. Superman is stronger. King Kong is the strongest. Note the adjective strong has only one syllable. Therefore, we use ER on the comparative and we use EST, strongest, on the superlative. This is a very common grammatical rule. The next example also follows a very common grammatical rule. My house is expensive. Your house is more expensive. Obama's house is the most expensive. Notice the adjective expensive. Expensive has three syllables, expensive. So we use more expensive and most expensive for the superlative. Be sure to note these very common grammatical rules for superlatives. Let's continue with superlatives. As previously noted, superlatives are used to compare three or more things. Generally, they are formed using est, est, or most. Let's look at two simple examples. Jupiter is the biggest planet in our solar system. Earth is the most comfortable planet. Notice the adjective big only has one syllable, so we say the biggest. Notice comfortable has three syllables. Comfortable, so we say the most comfortable. Also note the article the is used in front of a superlative. Another way to make a superlative is using least. Sometimes we compare things using least. Least is the opposite of most. When using least, the adjective does not change. Let's look at some examples. Tom is the least happy student here today. This shirt is the least expensive in the store. Notice the adjectives happy and expensive don't change.
We interrupt your program English Instructor to bring you news and views. And while you're watching news and views, be sure to notice some of the vocabulary. You may even want to get a little help from a friend, a teacher, or a dictionary. What's your name and what's your hobby?
My name's Chris, and my hobby is racing and restoring my Porsche here.
Wow, what kind of car is it exactly?
This is a 1955 356 Porsche. This is the first sporty style Porsche came out with a mass production, and it's a lot of fun.
How long have you been working on it?
I had this car since '98. It was a wedding present for my wife and her family, and I've been driving it and working on the restoration since then.
What's been rewarding about repairing your Porsche?
I think the most rewarding thing is after you've been working on it and you take it out and it's just running sweet, when it's just really in tune well and sounding good, and that's probably the most rewarding thing.
Where do you race?
I race with the Porsche Club, and we race locally up and down the coast of California. We're on the central coast of California, so I'm usually within a few hours of home. Maybe Monterey is the farthest I'll go.
How fast have you taken this Porsche?
I try to stick to the speed limit on the street so I don't get a ticket. But on the racetrack, I'll take it up to about 100, depending on the length of the straightaways. About just around 100, and then I'm pretty much running out of RPMs in this car.
Well, you have a beautiful car and a great hobby. The next time we'll see you, we'll be on the racetrack.
All right, thanks.
That was News and Views. I hope you had a chance to notice the vocabulary. Be sure to practice some of the vocabulary in your future conversations. Now back to your regular program.
That was News and Views. I hope you thought it was interesting. I sure did. Now back to superlatives. As with many grammatical rules, there are often a few exceptions. Superlatives are no different. There are a few exceptions to superlative grammar. These adjectives don't follow the basic rules, or they have more than one acceptable form. Let's look at a few examples. For the adjectives clever, friendly, quiet, angry, and gentle, we can use most or est. Clever becomes most clever or cleverest. Friendly, most friendly, friendliest. Quiet, most quiet or quietest. Angry, most angry or angriest. Gentle, most gentle or gentlest. Notice fun, however, cannot use est. We say the most fun, never the funnest. For more practice, please visit anthonyhalderman.com to take a free, online, comparative and superlative quiz. Now let's watch some students have some dialogue with superlatives.
Hey Scott, what are you looking at?
Hi, look. I'm looking at my new car. It's the fastest car in school.
Oh really?
It also has the loudest stereo system.
I know it's loud, but it's not the fastest.
Sure, it is. It's also the cleanest, the most expensive, the prettiest car in my neighborhood.
The prettiest? Let me see it. Oh no, it's not. It's the ugliest and the cheapest car in the whole city.
Hey man, that's my baby you are talking about.
Whatever.
Now let's answer some questions. What's Scott looking at? He's looking at his new car. What does his car have? His car has the loudest stereo system. Now let's answer some true or false statements. Luke knows it's a loud system. True. Scott thinks his car is the fastest car in school. True. Luke thinks Scott's car is the fastest car in school. False. Now let's answer some multiple choice. Scott says his car is the A. cleanest car in his neighborhood, B. the slowest car in his neighborhood, or C. the hottest car in his neighborhood. A. the cleanest car in his neighborhood. He also says his car is the A. smartest car in his neighborhood, B. the cutest car in his neighborhood, or C. the most expensive car in his neighborhood. C. the most expensive car in his neighborhood. Luke says it's the A. the best and the brightest car in the whole city, B. the oldest and the worst car in the whole city, C. the ugliest and the cheapest car in the whole city. C. the ugliest and cheapest car in the whole city.
Well, that concludes this lesson of English Instructor. I hope you learned something. I really want to thank all the guests, the actors, and the volunteers for appearing in this video. Please be sure to watch another English Instructor video.
We're going places at AnthonyHalderman.com.